Are we online?
No.
Yeah. How come you're the only one being shown on there?
Campaign commercial.
You got your name right.
We're good.
Hey, let's get started. What's today's date? The 4th, 5th,
Sixth,
6th, May.
May, yeah, that's right.
I'm going to call the May 6th budget workshop for the town of Stokesdale to order. The only item on the agenda tonight is just a continued discussion, round 3, I guess, of the budget. And I'll let Kim, if you want to go ahead, you want to start with the general fund?
Sure. Did all of you guys get your copies that I emailed to you yesterday?
This is it.
It's the one I emailed, I'm assuming. That's it, yeah. All right, so I have made the adjustments. Okay. I have made the adjustments that we discussed last budget workshop. And if you notice on the general fund, I have a note beside the undesignated funds. Because of the increase in salaries and benefits, I did increase pulling from the revenue, from the reserve funds on there. So it is balanced. These are all of the changes that we did make with the 11.35% for the state retirement. And we left the health insurance the same. The salaries, we did raise those. And as far as I know, unless you guys have anything else on that one,
I have one question here on the state retirement side,
yes.
where we have 11.35 of it, 84,445. Explain that so that people either ask or hear this. What is that for exactly? What's the 85?
That's what the town has to more or less contribute to, and that includes the deputy clerk and the clerk.
So that's the two positions to the tune of about rounded off to 85.
Yes,
For the first year.
yes.
The full-time positions.
5.5%, but actually it was like 11 point some percent.
35, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and-
double that.
And Miss Martin got that figure from.
She did.
Yes, from Kernersville. So, and those would
No, they-
apply to the two full-time
They
staff
pay
positions.
more in Kernersville for retirement than we do in Stokesdale now, that's why.
Yeah.
Kim, when were y'all thinking about starting that?
Well, I need to email the guy back. I was kind of waiting to see if we hired somebody, but I think I talked to Priscilla and she's willing to go ahead and go on it. So I guess you need to get with the guy and get it started, and then I guess the new person that comes on will just join in. So I was kind of waiting on the insurance too. I need to email her on the insurance, but I don't think insurance is that pressing right now because Priscilla doesn't want insurance. So I think I'll go ahead and email them this week on the retirement and get moving forward with it.
Do you think one employee will be enough to get on it?
My understanding is yes. It's the rule is 50% of your employees. So one up two, and that was kind of my hold up when I was talking to the guys. Like, well, we really don't have but one right now, but we're gonna get two, and that's when we thought we were hiring the other girl. So I was kind of waiting a little bit to see if we hired her, that kind of stuff. But the other thing, it's not going to be an immediate thing. So we probably won't start that until maybe June or July anyway, because it has to go through their board. The retirement board has to vote
Be
on it.
accepted.
So it's not something that can happen overnight.
Right.
So
One- Is there, a lot of the government entities do, you can sign on twice at two times in a year, or they have,
They didn't mention that to me. Obviously, their board may not meet but once or twice, whenever their board meets. So it'll be, like I say, it could be a couple months by the time we fill out the application. We do all we have to do. It has to go in front of their board, and they have to set a
yeah,
meeting.
if we get another party out, instead of having to wait 3 more months till a half year.
I think once we get on the system, it's just a matter of adding somebody to it.
Automatic,
But for us to actually get on the system, it has to go through the board, the retirement board.
What percent do the employees have to pay? Like 5 or 6?
5 or 6, I think it's 6%.
It's 6%,
Employees contribute 6%.
yeah,
Yeah,
6.
up to 6.
so it's about a 2 to 1,
They have
Yeah.
2 to 1 deal, basically, round off the 11.35.
Okay, any other questions on the general fund? So we're gonna be pulling from town reserves 80,772.
Yes.
How much real cash do we have in
80,007.
the reserve? Real cash, not any. No, I'm not talking about assets, I'm talking about cash money.
CDR, you're talking about like the CDRs,
Yeah,
cash money, okay,
3 million.
yes. Around 3 million. I have to look that up to be exact.
Okay, you don't have to be exact. That's not counting any kind of assets or anything, that's just real money.
Yeah, no, that's liquid.
And that money's going, the entire amount's coming out of just reserve cash?
Yes,
Is
if
that
we,
the way we're setting it up for the first round and pick it up and run with it like that?
if we have, yes,
Okay.
in order for us to be able to balance the budget, yeah, that's what we would have to do.
Now,
But
with-
we wouldn't necessarily have to take it out towards the end of the
That's true.
fiscal year.
Well,
That's
the
true.
reason I'm asking is because if we get any questions about the income on the first page of our income, that goes into part of what we're going, well, the majority of what we're gonna pay can also be used in some of these other things like the excise taxes, in addition to the investment earnings and things like that. So we don't drain people, that's a big chunk of something new, and you don't want somebody thinking, well, every time they do, they wanna come in and build a house, they're gonna take every penny,
Right.
so.
No, and John is correct. I mean, we wouldn't really know that until towards the end.
Yeah.
But we have to put it in the budget itself in order to balance.
Right,
So, because who knows, a miracle could happen and we could really do great in our investment earnings this year. That would be awesome. But
Yeah.
Can we,
the Bank of China.
do you mind if we just talk about that for a minute on the salaries? Because we've got 154,000 budgeted for the salaries. So if we're figuring the clerk makes, about 38?
if you look on the
50.
allocation, on your allocation sheet, Jim, it's a sheet that has that's the actual, breakdown.
Oh, okay,
You don't have, oh, okay.
I got it, I just didn't
You
see
did,
it.
okay. So that's with our part-time clerk, Chris's salary, Kim's salary, and then the clerk, the full-time clerk.
Okay, so so why do we anticipate needing an additional $80,000? What was our thoughts on that? Because you've got 50,000 for the clerk already budgeted, and 45 for you, and 34 for Chris and Dale. So where was the 80? Why are we thinking we need another 80,000 for?
The driver is the park.
Yeah.
$100,000 outlay for the park. That's the big driver. The second and third largest drivers really would be just additional salary overhead with the clerk and Miss Martin year over year, and then the state retirement system.
That's right. Because it was actually 40-some thousand that I had to add additional. The other was from the park to begin with. in
Okay,
order
so
to
not
balance.
all that 80,000.
No.
Okay,
No,
that's
no,
where
no.
that's
Yeah.
where I was confused.
I'm
at.
sorry, and I should have put that in there, let you know.
I thought maybe y'all were hiring me full-time when I retired. We were just budgeting for it,
That would need a vote of cancel.
so.
Yeah. Don't give up your day job.
You need a strong,
I done gave it up.
Yeah.
enjoy
Now,
it.
that figure we got in there is for an experienced clerk, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have experience time I put it on paper.
So,
12.5,
okay, Water Enterprise Fund?
inexperienced one.
Okay.
Yeah, the money.
Now, this one, we probably need, let me make mine bigger so I can see this, hold on.
We don't necessarily need that.
Here's your magnifying glass, we all have
We'll
one.
discuss that later, but
Okay, if you see on the water, I still have the increase for Yates, which I know, John, I don't know if we, did we ever find out on the Yates increase on the water side under taps and connection fee? Because I kind of had that question mark there as far as that increase.
Yeah. Hold on, I'll
Okay,
get you something.
okay.
So the 30,000 is not taking into consideration the increases, is what you're saying?
No, that's what I had in there to begin with, but
What percentage increase was it? What, across the board? You don't, yeah, probably.
Roughly 20%. And council needs to vote whether we want to increase our tap fees on our different size.
I mean, it would only make sense, to go 20%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's the current rate.
I'm gonna try to put it on the agenda for next week.
right, I got you.
But they're going up $500 on 3/4 inch meters, 2 inch meters, and then they're going up $1,500 on the street board.
That's roughly 20%.
Yeah, and what I would think we would do would be something close to that in terms of increased cost to
Yeah.
our users, so we would increase our income. When are they increasing?
Kim, I would
We never
suggest
leave that
adding
on.
$6,000, which is 20% of the taps and fees on revenue side, and then adding $6,000 to contract operations.
We increase and they increase. So it'd be a wash on the budget, right?
And you said add 6,000 on the contract?
Yeah, and that in itself would offset, but
Okay, so we increased that to 36,000. And then I increased, I'm sorry, I increased it 6,000 to 36. And then I increased, contract operations from,
I don't know where we put either contract operations or water
that's where-
line.
that's where Yates goes,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah, as long as we're consistent and that's where it goes,
That's
then
where- yep.
that's fine.
Where'd you put the first one?
under the revenue, under taps and connection fee, I raised that to 36,000.
36, okay, tapping.
And then I raised contract operations. It is now 97,819.78.
So we're dependent on that 78 to keep us through the year?
Yes, that's
Okay.
important.
Watch your pennies and the dollars take care of themselves. Now, I assume that tap and connection fee was based on last year's numbers of how many taps we had.
Yes.
Well, if they're charging us $22,000, that was only 15 taps.
I gotta look at the,
Because if you, they're at $2,057 current, I think, and 2,500 there's proposal. I know we did more than 15 taps.
yeah, 2,087.
We probably did 60 or 70.
Well, let me find my,
But aren't these the taps for just people, that may not be in a new subdivision that just want to tap onto the system?
the taps and connection fee is when, it's the $750 that is broke down in, when they come in.
But that 750 is in the next line item, water capacity fee.
You're right, that is the water capacity fees, I'm
Yep.
very sorry, $270 of the taps and connection fee. I'll tell you what, just let me find that, hold on.
Which line are you on now? The second, the
Orange and then the
actual
one
orange
below
one,
it.
okay. All right.
If, and I can't remember, I don't have the rate sheet memorized, but if a developer puts in the water, I think all we're getting is like 200, the cost of the meter, which is $220, and,
And the capacity.
yeah, and the capacity.
Yeah.
Which is a standard fee.
And most everything is the developer's paying, so that may be fairly close to where we
Yeah.
are. I'm just thinking it's not, certainly not based on the $2,000.
Right, right. And that would be, you know, if, for instance,
The meters
if a house on Angel Purdue Road across the street here, if they were not hooked up to our system, but their well went dry and they wanted to hook up to our system, they pay that higher rate, and Yates charges the higher rate there. So that's where.
In the last meeting, we discussed about putting in stages, as best I remember, about for the safety fees.
Auto
on
readers.
65 on the auto readers, start going ahead on those hazard road areas. Is that included in there? We're talking about, what was the number?
It's in the line, I believe.
We do have a line item for 25,000 for that.
Electronic meters change out 25,000.
Yeah,
And that's just for those meters, the 25 for that. That's
Yeah.
not for any other old meters. that we've got.
We had roughly 220 of those, and we were talking about doing 3 years, about
Right.
70 each.
So that's what I'm saying. Is that 25 a year roughly for the next 3? Is that what we're thinking about?
I think the 25,000 would cover us for 1/3 of those.
The most dangerous up front?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not being included in what she's talking about then. We're doing that on the town.
John, this year to date, taps and connection fee, we are at 42,000
42.
year to date. And it is $270 and then $75, so $345 goes into the taps and connection fee each time they come and fill out that.
So it's over 100 taps. I would think we'd have a lot more next year than this year, but who knows? But then we're probably low on that, if we've already done $40,000 for this year, and we still got 3 months left.
No, this is, yeah, well,
Right.
2.
May, June, and, yeah,
May,
2
June,
months.
yeah.
We'll divide it by that and let's just see what the average
Yeah,
is.
but are people still building? I mean, with lumber and stuff up?
That way it'll
They
give us
gonna-
an
think
idea.
they're gonna slow down a little
$4,200.
You're
bit?
in your peak, these 2 months are peak.
Yeah.
Divide that by 10, that'd be like $4,200 a month.
42.
If you're trying to get an average, it'd be about $4,200.
So we need to think about this last couple for about
That'd be
4,200
50,000.
times
Roughly 50,400.
for the whole year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we're at 36, and that's
Yeah, so
counting
we
the
need to
increase,
think
so we
about-
need to think
yeah.
about increasing that.
yeah.
Okay, let me get back to my.
I'd rather have it and be able to back it
Oh,
down
that's
and not
income, that's
use
not
it.
expense.
How much
Well,
increase you talking about? Cause we're pulling
Offset it.
23,000 out of the fund balance.
If that's
24,000.
profit, then we're looking at another
Yeah.
25,000.
Well, that would zero us out.
Kim, what are the year-to-date
If
water
it,
sales?
if it happens.
Hold on 1 second. Let me go back to that form. I was back in the other one.
A bunch.
If it happens, that zero us out where we won't be taking anything
Lot
from the
of
fund
gallons.
balance.
20,000 a month, I think.
Let me get out of my
That's
details.
200,000 in 10 months. If it's 20 a month,
I think that's about right.
give or take a glass or two.
Oh my gosh. Where's this thing going? Dale's my witness. This thing over here is going crazy.
Probably 215.
Not doing what I need it to do. Come on now. Bear with me, guys.
It's probably reasonable then.
There we go.
I mean, if you think about it, for 12 months.
Year to date, this fiscal year.
But I guess I'm a little concerned 450 may be high for water sales. Maybe it's not. I mean, the math is there to support it.
This year is around. Hold on. Okay, I'm not gonna include the late fees. Just the water sales right now, year to date, through April is around 360, 361, rounding up.
Okay, that's
2 more months.
good.
That's 10
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
36 a month.
All right, we're good with that 450 in the water sales then.
Yeah,
Okay, let me
we're
get back
just
over
about
there.
even on it.
Okay, so what did we decide on as far as taps and connection fees? Last I heard is we're gonna move it to 36, but John, did you want to move it up?
Well, if we 42 now, we got 2 months left. I'd put it at 50.
Okay,
Okay,
'Cause,
prime building times coming.
May, June are gonna be 2 of your best months.
Yep.
okay. That's, I mean, that, they can't argue with that logic. Kim, to offset that, if we put the revenue at 50 on taps and connection fee, can we just offset that in contract operations?
We can, and I can also reduce, I need to reduce my transfer from fund balance too. Hold on just 1 second here. You said contract operations. Well, no,
Are we down to a point to where we've got that we will not gonna need it for the
that's
whole year?
14,000.
The
What's
coming
that?
year?
What?
Contract, using it from the contract dollars.
No,
Talking about-
if
You're
we're
talking
gonna,
about making the balance up.
It's gotta be right. 97,
contracts what we pay Gene and Gary and them.
Well, unless I misunderstood, you were talking about shifting it out of the contract over to the water to balance this year up, the next 2 months.
He's
No, no.
setting that as
period.
a debit against your increase in the water income.
Right.
He's just saying, hey, we're gonna pay Yates more because of the increase 20%.
Okay. So we're through with the water
Oh.
meters at this point. All right.
We've just gotta approve their, we need to put that on the agenda for the,
Sorry, can't hear you.
approve Yates's
Proposal.
increase in cost on the meters, what Kim's got.
Now, do we, would that, if we're gonna do that by the year, and
That's the new one.
are they gonna wait 2 months, or do they wanna go ahead and start this next meeting, 2 months of the existing, and then start the next?
I'd have to look at the way they did the letter.
Cause that could,
I told them we had to vote on it first.
so you're jumping over the line.
Yates is implementing a
Right, I
cost
understand
increase.
that, but what I'm saying is, if we're doing it on the budget year, but we still got 2 months, are they gonna wait to start the first of the budget, or catch the last 2 months and then the next 12 of the
They'll
next
probably
budget?
start next month.
So we need to think about them on a 14-month basis then, instead of
Yeah.
a 12-month. At this point, just for figures.
Well,
Yates is
Not
trying
on
to,
this. I mean,
Yates
we
needs
just
to
gotta
offset
finish this last 2 months and then make our
the price
increase.
increases they're seeing right now from the raw material standpoint.
If our income last year was 30,000 roughly, because it's probably
Yeah.
based on last year's, and we've already gotten 42, we got enough to cover the extra cost.
Without, and then
Without
start our
an increase, yeah,
fiscal
we'll be
year
okay.
and leave the fiscal year in place.
There's no need to make a budget amendment.
Okay, that's. what
Now,
I wanted to make sure.
we likely, and I mean, maybe not right here, but I mean, Kim and I are gonna look at the budget closely this weekend, and we likely will need to make some budget amendments for May on the general fund, I know.
But not on that specific contractual agreement. If they're waiting for us to say we voted in, and then the next day their prices are gonna go up, we're gonna be billed more.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, they're gonna increase their prices whether we vote on it or not.
I was about to say, I think the vote that needs to happen is that we need to, I mean,
We need to run
Are
parallel.
we gonna pass
we
it
need
to
to,
the
we need to
customer?
increase, I mean, I'm gonna put it on the May 13th agenda, and we can discuss it then, but yes, I will be proposing a cost increase based off
To
our,
balance it all
our
out.
prices, or our
Okay.
cost is increased.
We'll wait then.
Okay, any other comments or concerns about the water?
She's
I have
got
a
her
question.
finger raised.
Okay, I had transfer from fund balance 23,000, but we have actually increased our revenue by 20,000. So I would like to reduce transfer from fund balance to 3945 and then reduce the because right now the contract operations are 118,820.
How much are they?
111,820.
In the budget or year-to-date actual?
No, in the budget.
Year to date,
I need to reduce
That we have.
20,000 from the transfer from fund balance.
that we haven't used.
Okay, you're talking about next year now, right?
Oh, yeah, are we on this? Oh, yeah, I thought, yeah.
No, we're talking,
We're talking about next year's budget, the one,
Yeah,
okay. So what you're suggesting is to change taps and connection fee to $50,000,
Is that not what, yes, I thought
Yes.
that's,
Yeah.
yes.
and
And then I
then,
need to reduce, I would like to reduce the fund balance, transfer from fund balance reserves to 394550.
Yeah, that only makes
yeah, I
sense.
mean,
Okay.
that's great.
And then that, okay.
I mean, I'm a little bit concerned about contract operations being a little low.
Well, is that,
But you know, a lot of it would depend on how much operations there are to do out there. And,
right,
you know, I think Jimmy was making a point, earlier that things may slow down a little bit because of, you know, inflation in the prices. That's just hard to say.
You just don't know.
None of us are economists,
no.
so.
If you watch the number of developers and builders coming in with Priscilla,
Oh, it's a lot.
it ain't slowed down
Yeah.
at all.
They're not letting that lumber is double. you know,
Doesn't
too.
matter.
It is. I
They've
don't
got
know where
more,
these people getting all this money
they've
from.
got so many pre-sales.
Demand.
They've started the new, peony, and they're already getting, they're paying for meters and the road is not even paved yet.
Right.
Okay.
Well, sometimes, you know, some areas it's just that way, and we're probably that area.
That's got my contract operations at 91,819.
I mean, that's a fine number.
Yeah, we know
I
it's
would,
adjusted.
we can increase it. My thinking is more 100, but, you know.
Well, we reduced transferring from the reserves. That makes Jimmy happy.
And that's good. Okay.
It'll
Well,
kind
the
of
reserve.
balance that out.
Gotta let inflation eat the reserves. What else?
I guess the next steps, you just capture these changes and send it back out, and we'll need to, I guess Dale will need to do a public hearing announcement, probably around the Tuesday after Memorial Day and the following Tuesday or something like that.
We need to go ahead and get this on the, website, and we'll discuss it at the May meeting next week. But we can't vote on it. We just lay it on the table for 30 days, and we
Okay.
vote on it in the June meeting.
Okay.
Then it goes in effect in the next.
Because she's got to advertise it for 10 days, right?
You're talking about the budget, right?
Right.
Yes.
But we can go ahead and put it on our websites and things like that as soon as Kim gets a quote, final copy.
Correct. And we'll make it available to the public, put a note, advertisement in the paper, and then you can hold your public hearing and adopt it the same night if you want to.
Do you know if it requires a supermajority on the first reading?
It's no, it's not. It's just a majority,
Okay.
and it only requires one reading.
And that's that one, and that's it. After that, we go with it regardless.
Yeah, if it passes.
I've got it ready to go. I can go ahead and send you guys. That way you can at least look at it and make sure before it's sent final. I've made my changes here.
But yeah, I mean, I've got my computer, so.
Okay. Hold on, I'll send it over.
And
Guess I'll look
I
at it,
got my
but
gun, and
we're good. We can adjourn this thing.
I don't.
Does anybody else have anything? I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Wow.
Second?
All in favor, let's do it that
All.
way.
I don't know your voices. Who made the motion to adjourn?
I
Derek?
did,
Derek.
Jim.
Give me a second.
Second, yeah.
I'd call the question, Jim.
Aye.
Derek?
Aye.
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 5-0.
5 ayes equal 1 bye.
Smart me.
Go get this.
Look, Derek done got mad and leaving, look at that. Oh,
Nah, we got a hot mic off here.
John, I guess I could store this dolly in your office.
I moved it
Yeah,
the other
pay
office.
rent.